Cousins, it's a chilly one today, but things are about to heat up because I found some really great stuff I want to show you. I got some stuff at an estate sale at the end of last week, got some stuff at a thrift store this morning, and so we'll go kind of in backwards order from the most recent back before, but we got some really cool items I want to show you. We'll talk about some values, talk about how I'm going to sell them, and more, so buckle up, cousins. It's going to get real. First up today, I'm going to show you some stuff I grabbed at a local thrift store. Then we'll get into the stuff I got from an estate sale. I think you're going to enjoy it. But right here, we got a little, you know, what they call these Cabbage Patch dolls, essentially. I'm a Toys R Us kid. Interesting, because Toys R Us is no longer around. A CPK, a little baseball one. These were $2 a piece. I'll throw them in a lot for $14 to $20 to see how they do. Got some costume jewelry here. $3 for this. Let's turn her over and see what we are looking at. The brand here is Norma Jean. So, you know, a mid-level kind of boutique-y type costume brand. We got these pieces right here, sort of eternity knots. And this is Donald Stannard, something like that. Can't quite tell. Again, that's a I've never seen that name before, so we're gonna look those up and see what they go for. And then a couple more pieces. Here's an interesting bangle bracelet here. Definitely older. You can see it's got some of these old rhinestones. There's a little bit of condition issues, but definitely old. You can see the wire construction on the inside, and very cool. Here's the clasp. I'm going to press on it. I've not actually inspected this. I saw how old it was, and I knew I could sell it. Let's see if there's anything, any brand name or anything written on the underside of it. Nope, I don't see it. But definitely a cool piece, as you can tell. $3, I can sell that and make money on that any old day. And I could even put that into, say, a lot of antique jewelry, right? And then we got this right here. Needs some work. It's got some condition issues, but you're looking at an older gold-filled Elgin Deluxe watch. Band's in decent shape, but look at that. Look at the crown. Holy mess. I mean, look at that thing. What in the world? Can you even call that a crown? It's bizarre. Needs a new crown on it, but it is gold-filled. It says it on the back, on the top here. Oop. Come on, band. See if I can zoom in here and show you. Is it going to will it zoom for me? Yeah, Elgin. And then it says the gold-filled thing there. So, cool. I love these old watches for $3. Some would buy it for more than that in this condition, I guarantee it. And then, over here, got another couple of these bags, right, that are like broken mixed pieces, but I've done it well in the past. I've found gold and silver in these, and you know, it costs $5, as you can see, for each of these. So here's the deal, $10 for this. Even if I find nothing in here of any more value, I can throw that in a jewelry jar and sell that for $10 or more for crafting people. So it's there's no way I can lose money on it, and it's fun to go through, as you know. So what I do is I just take the top to a plastic tub. I'm gonna dump all this stuff out in here, okay? And then I'm gonna sort through it. I won't make you sit and watch the whole thing, but I'll go through all of this, and we'll see if there's anything else to sell individually. Okay, folks, this is what we're left with. We've got a jar. I can throw that up for $10, make all my money back, right? Okay, so this is where we're at. Things that I found in this lot, and I'll show you what I found and why I'm going to keep them. So all of this is sterling silver. This is some faux red coral. It's coral, but it would be white, and they dyed it red to make it look red. It's not naturally red. Got a little bracelet here with some little, you know, little birds there. Nice little pendant. Some nice stones. Little gold color over silver, sterling silver. A couple of big chunky earrings, a couple of pendants, and then one earring, which is weird. I don't think that this is probably how it originally came, but maybe. Copper screw back, which is an older design, and then you've got more of a Southwest look, little bird eagle type thing with a little piece of turquoise in there. Sterling silver. So you're looking in this, I haven't weighed it yet, but probably 30 or so grams, okay, of sterling silver. Not bad. Little angel pendant here, made out of copper, kind of an art piece. A couple of charms or pendants. Here's a a guy on a horse. Here's a cheerleader with her pom-poms. A couple of pendants here. I could find just a couple of gold colored necklaces. Throw those on. Here's a kind of like a moonstone type stone. I can throw that in with extras that I have of similar things. Here's a little articulating fish pendant, not unlike this one that's up here. See how big that is? I got a big old gold colored chain. Another little one. Maybe I could get a little chain and sell those together. That'd be kind of neat. These right here are all some really nice art glass beads. Some really cool pieces. They're all different, but I could throw these on a lot, and people who craft in or beadwork or jewelry work might be interested. Over here, this was nice, a complete necklace, older one. It is a gold-filled necklace. It indicates it on that little ring there. So that's sweet. Have a nice little piece that is intact. And then a variety of these kind of, you know, small earring studs, pearls, faux pearls, rhinestones. Of course, I'll test the rhinestone ones to make sure they aren't diamonds. I'll test the posts to make sure they aren't gold. And then when I come across older clasps like this, gold or silver or copper, in this case, I keep them too because I do jewelry repair work on stuff all the time. And this one, it's been pried open, but I can clamp that back there. I can, you know, fix a necklace or something if I need to. And so I'll show you kind of where I put a couple of these things like this in these. If I pull up my little drawer here. So right here, I've got a variety that's on top of there, but look at this. Look at this. All these different kinds of stones that have come out of jewelry. Most of these are cubic zirconia or simulated gemstones. These are not natural gemstones, but things like this little puppy goes in there. Because if I ever come across jewelry that's silver or nice I want to sell, but it doesn't have a stone, well, I got several stones to choose from. I can set those in. Let me pull this up. Look, I'll probably actually put this one in here because, see, now I got several different, here's other cabs of things, so that'll go in there, right? These are just all things I harvest. And then here's the one for the earrings. Right here, you can see I've got several others in there. So I'll get myself a little lot together eventually and sell those, or maybe I'll piece them together, harvest components if I need to repair stuff. And so this is an advantage. So these, you know, this jewelry lot here, I'm going to sell that to make my money back. I have components that I can keep for future repair, and that saves me money, of course, so I don't have to buy those components when it comes time. And then I've got one, you know, something individually I can sell, a lot, a few individual lots, and some silver. So I'm going to make 40 or 50 bucks, you know, here off of this stuff, maybe a little bit more, plus the money back that I spent in the first place. Folks, had a really good success at an estate sale this last weekend. I put in some absentee bids on some lots. I couldn't stick around, but there were some things that I was interested in, and I want to kind of show you some of that right now. Right here, we got some old Hummel figures. They're going out shipping later today. This is from a couple weeks ago. I got to clean this up. This is an old casserole type dish or some sort of a dish that's an old Pyrex. You can see they had this old tape here that had like this thread in it, but they left it on there for so long that when I tried to remove it, the residue and all this stuff is still on there. So I need to clean it, but I got to be careful because I don't want to rub off the gold leaf of the pattern here. So that's going to be a little bit of, I wouldn't say necessarily repair work, more like cleaning work I got to do. But I had a lot here, and I wanted to show you some things that I got in this lot. Paid about $20, $24 actually, for everything you're seeing here. Some stuff I've already thrown out, but you can see we've got like an old like letter opener, some old patches. Here's some kind of cool looking glasses, and I don't know if this had another I'm assuming maybe this had something else that it attached to. Got an old straight razor. It's kind of in poor condition. This little thing, it's interesting. It says glove gems. And it has like a fake, like just like an image of a hand and this little push pin in it. This thing right here, which holds these little screws, little hoop screws, and it says Judd Cadmolite, and it's got this little like cartoony figure. It looks like a screw, but like a little person. It's really interesting. Never seen one of those before. Here's some old glasses. You've seen these before. We've talked about these. These can sell. This is the kind that has like this. It's kind of broken, you can see, but the nose piece is here. It's got like a chain that holds it together. This is gold filled, and it's the original case, so that'll definitely sell. An old little change pouch here, an old pocket knife. I haven't tested it, but I think it might have some silver in it. Either way, it's definitely older and definitely a cool look to it. A couple of little glove holders. Some different things here, a couple old razors, as you can see, with some old prices on them. Pocket watch fob here, like chain and fob. Some old keys. This is kind of cool. This is the 1953, this person, Christopher Allen, South Carolina driver's license. Look at this. That's the driver's license number, and these old keys for this old vehicle from the 1950s. An old Ronson brand lighter, you can see here, would need some fluid. And then some other kind of interesting smaller pieces. We got a little old U.S. Pin, a little medallion here, a St. Christopher. But then on the back, look at this. It says St. Christopher, be my guide. And I guess this is like a military related thing. I don't know. I need to look up St. Christopher if that's like the patron saint of, I don't know what for, but like it almost looks, so you got a vehicle here and a plane. Some travel? Like, I don't know. This is interesting. It looks like an old, like a snake's head or something. It's like a little fob. Would have had a chain on it. Maybe this was for a pocket watch. I don't know. But it looks like it's the Whiting and Davis brand. They made a lot of costume jewelry back in the day. Right here we have a Gettysburg Monument old kind of like pin. You can see this right here. For financial emergencies, call this number. Back before they had area codes. Patent pinned in there from the Capital Bank of Santa Fe, New Mexico. Here's a very old rosary, as you can see. Old plastic beads. Crucifix down there at the bottom. This is like an old stick pin. It's interesting, like a faux pearl on there. So interesting, cool stuff. An old watch here. Tours de la Rochelle. It looks like it's in French here, okay. But the really cool thing, I'm going to pull this out here. I had it all ready to go and take to the jeweler, was this. And again, I had some stuff that I threw out, but look at this old chain. You can kind of see it's almost got these like flower type patterns. I've actually never seen a chain that has this design. It was quite heavy. I did some tests. It's at least 10 karat gold. It may be 14 karat gold. I'm going to take it to a jewelry shop today and have them verify the gold content, but it's heavy, folks. It's like 42 grams. So again, I did $24 for all of this. This right here was a big surprise. If it's 10 karat gold, we're looking at right around $1,080 in scrap gold weight. If it's 14 karat, we're looking more like $1,500. So what what a great little score here off of that. And now let's move over to lot number 2, cost about $30. I love these old lots of photographs and cabinet cards and stuff. So what you're looking at is just a variety of old photographs and then cabinet cards. Cabinet cards, they can come in smaller or larger sizes. They're basically, they have a photograph on them, but they're usually glued or mounted on to some sort of cardboard piece. And these, back in the 1800s or early 1900s, people would, like women who had vanities, where they had their, their mirrors and stuff, they could just prop these things up. They wouldn't need necessarily a frame for them. You could put them up, on the mantle or something. And you can see, so here's some medium sizes here. Here's one that's the same gentleman, which is cool. And I have never come across a duplicate in a lot before, so that's kind of interesting and different. And some of these also indicate like where they were made, like here, like Wheeler in Greenville, South Carolina. That's about an hour and 15 minutes south of where the warehouse is here. So they're regionally appropriate. These came from nearby, made their way up this way. This may be the same gentleman. Is that the same gentleman? Yeah, it is. Look at this. So just one's maybe a little different time period. Fitzgerald, Greenville, South Carolina. So 2 different, same location, different photographers, same gentleman. Okay, that's kind of cool. And then here's a very much taller one, as you can see. A woman just in a beautiful dress here, young woman. Some of these have some condition issues. I mean, they're old, folks, and who knows? I mean, these were just in cardboard boxes when I got them, so they probably were in someone's attic or basement for, a good amount of time. Storage container, perhaps. So those will all be things that, if I want, I could try to sell these individually. Wouldn't get a ton probably for any of them by themselves, but I could throw them into one large lot or a few small lots. And then we have some other pieces here. You can see this is an old photo album. And inside you have various photographs and other smaller cabinet cards. Here's one woman with a dress. Almost looks like a wedding dress, wedding gown on there. All kinds. I love seeing these. If you come across ones that are really unusual, or maybe men World War I, like Civil War era, and they're wearing, uniforms and stuff, those can sell quite well. You can see some tintypes, possibly daguerreotypes here as well. And so this thing is full. All right, so this is an easy thing. I don't have to touch it. Unfortunately, bad condition as far as the binding of it. It's completely gone, but this thing is full of pictures. Here's another one. The album is very, very poor condition. However, if I start going through it, you'll see it's not chock full, but it does have all kinds of photographs and things in that one as well. Here's 2 other large ones. You can see this one, and you can see really bad condition, damage to the photographs on the top here, but it is chock full of others, and these are all kind of medium to larger size ones. There are people who collect these in the state that they're in. People will sometimes take these out. There's all kinds of interesting ones in here. Lots of different people. These could have been friends, could have been family members. But we're talking, this is very old. This is 1800s, mid to late 1800s, I would say. And then this one's a really cool one. You can see this sort of metal medallion type thing on the top, this metal sort of clasp here. You open it up, and it's the same situation. It's just an old album, photo album, that has spaces, and it's very ornate, and there's some gold leaf and some color that has been put on here after the fact. But, just going through various photographs of people. Some of these have been taken out over time, but there are several left in here. I might even go through with that lot of individuals and try to stick them in here to kind of fill it up a little bit more. But look at this. At the very back is an open section, and it says The Last Rose of Summer and the Bells of Scotland. Can you see that? Those are the names, I guess, of the songs that this thing plays. This is one of these deals. It's got these little things, and it hits these different notes here. As it rotates, this thing will turn, and it makes noise. Now, it's open in here. You always have to check inside these, though, because sometimes people hide things like money or letters or other stuff back in there and stuff. But anyhow, very cool. I don't know how to crank this up. I don't know if it still works properly. I don't know how to do it. But the way that this is set up is that there's a hinge here that goes in and out. You can see that. And so when this is closed, it would say be silent. But the idea would be as you open it, as you release the latch to open the deal, it would trigger this music box to start playing music. And so it would be playing The Last Rose of Summer and the Bells of Scotland songs while you're looking through the photo album of your family and friends. Very, very interesting design. A very cool thing in this lot. What you're looking at here is the big lot that I bought. And what you're looking at, folks, is probably the largest collection of stamps that I have ever purchased at one time. And I paid about $180 for everything you're looking at here. Now, old Rusty doesn't know the most about stamps. I wouldn't even say I know very much at all, but I do know enough to be dangerous. I have bought and sold stamps in the past. But the thing about these is you have to know what type of work is worth putting in for what you expect to get. And I don't spend a lot of time selling individual stamps. It gets very monotonous. It gets old. The amount you get for individual stamps is generally speaking, for most stamps I see out there, $2 or $3 for a stamp. And so, yes, I have thousands upon thousands. In fact, if I sold every single stamp here for $1, and, there's probably $10,000 or more in here. Shoot, there might be $7,000 or $8,000 worth, or stamps in here just in this tub that I haven't even gone through. But I've done a little bit of sorting yesterday, and let me tell you what I did initially. So I had several books like this that were all of U.S. stamps, and several of those had older stamps from early on in the 1800s, the 1850s or something like that, all the way up into, basically the 1990s. And so I took several of these books, and the best way, if I were to just sell a book, I might not get very much from it. However, people out there who collect will want individual stamps or certain stamps that go with specific sets that would be on a page from one of these collector books. And you can see several of these pages in here are completely full, if not mostly full. And so what old Rusty did was I just went through these books and I removed the pages. I'm not selling the book. I'm going to sell them not one stamp at a time, but I'm going to sell one page at a time. Some of these you can see are sparse. Maybe there's only 3 or 4 stamps on the page. Others, however, are full. And others, even more than that, are quite full of several different types of several different ages. So I can spend my time going through and sorting, and I did. I spent a good portion of the latter part of yesterday sorting stuff. This bag is all older foreign stamps, but of all different countries, folks, and different time periods. So I'm going to have to go through and sort that. But what I've done is these are all stamps from about 1940, late 40s, early 50s. All of these are from basically 1950 forwards towards today. However, this stack here are stamps that are older, and I have them categorized as such. So, right here, this stack right here are all stamps that are airmail or air post stamps. I maybe got 10 or 15 pages of various airmail stamps. Okay, so that's one, let's call that category. So when I'm going through, I could either sell this as an entire lot, or I can do it one page at a time. But if I'm going to photograph this, let's say, so that I can be doing lots of listings in sequence, I'm going to do all of the airmail ones together, right? So that when I'm on my phone later on, and I'm just attaching photos to pre-made listings, I don't have to make any changes or adjustments. I just set up the basic listing. The only thing I have to do is change the pictures and change the title, right, to represent exactly what I have here. So that's one lot, or category rather, or type. Then over here we've got, these are all what they would call special handling or special delivery stamps. Okay, that's another category. Then right here I have, these are all what they would call postage due or revenue stamps. Okay, various ones, different ages. Over here, I've got famous Americans and various ones. But this is really a stack of 1940, like basically early 1940s. And then this as well, this is all from about 1930 to 1940 of all types. It's a large stack right there, probably 50 pages, okay? And some of these are completely full, others not, but these are not, they are hinged, but they're not in plastic. Most of these other ones in here are kind of protected behind plastic. And then we got, all of these are 1920 to 1930. All of these are 1920s, okay? 1920 to 1929. And then here's really the gold mine, so to speak. Meaning, of all of this here, this is going to make me some of the most money. These are all, and some of these are newer, folks, but bear with me here. Most of these are from the 1800s up through the teens. And so, as indicated by the titles of a lot of these pages, we have, this is like ones from 1890 to 1893, 1898, and so on and so forth. But if I can flip through here really fast, 1895, we got some decent ones, 1894, and this is when really the collectors start to get excited and want ones, is the ones that are the earliest, the oldest stamps in the best conditions, or rare things like rare perforation amounts. That's the little ticks here on the side, and so forth. Here we got 1879, and we just keep going further and further back into time. 1867, 1861, and so forth. And so these are pulled from multiple books, of course, so I don't have them all in order. I need to do some further sorting here. But I do have some terribly old ones, 1870, 1871. Look how cool of a cancellation that stamp on the stamp, that ink stamp is. Some really cool stuff. 1861, we got an old Andrew Jackson one there. Here we got an old Washington 3 cent, 1861, 1862. Here's 1869, and so forth. Folks, so I'm not going to take you through all of these, but the point is, I'll do a lot with some of these that are the very old, the oldest ones, and there's going to be some decent money coming out of that. That's just these stacks. I mean, I have probably 175 to 200 pages worth of stamps that are labeled in the correct spots, and that really helps me and the collectors who want to buy. This section here and here are all what they call first day covers of various types. And what that means is they're going to be on an envelope, and they're going to have the stamp. And the idea is these are commemorative. They do these when they're first making a stamp. The first day that this particular stamp was made, the first day it was issued, in April 30th of 1982 was the first time this Horatio Alger 20-cent stamp was available, and they commemorate it by putting it on these. This was a book, it looks like to me, because they all have the same person's name on them. This person sent this book off, or actually they sent, rather, all of these first day stamps off to some sort of a stamp company, like a collectible stamp company, and they produced this book for this particular person. And some of these, as you'll see, like they'll have names. They'll have names of these people on here that had these done. Other times, they're just a collection. Here's one that has a magazine of Princess Diana, and this is the official tribute to Princess Diana, and then it's all Princess. That's the theme of this one. It's all ones for Princess Diana, and so on and so forth. I mean, this one right here is a box set of the 1984 Olympic athletes. Down here we got some ducks, the USSR duck stamp. So if I flip these up, duck stamps for all those duck stamp enthusiasts and so forth. So what's nice about this is I'm not going to break these up. Generally speaking, these are not as valuable as just individual stamps or some of these older US stamps. So every one of these books will be a lot in and of itself. I'm going to sell that book, all the book, in one lot. They get them all in that book. I'm just going to ship that book off. It's going to be all media mail, so it's cheaper shipping, which I like. Right here are other stamps, regular stamps, but they're not old like some of these other older ones that I showed you earlier. We've got various kinds. This one, I don't even know if it has any stamps in it. It may just be a blank book, so that book will go by itself. This, of course, gigantic, just ridiculously large pile of stamps. And so I haven't decided exactly what I want to do with this. I think it'll partly decide upon what types of sales I get with some of this other stuff I start with to decide, does it seem like it'll be worth it to really go through here. I'll do a cursory work, maybe work for 45 minutes to an hour to look through, see if I find anything that seems to be worth much more than $1 or $2. And if not, I may just start selling them off, 500 stamps at a time or something like that. In this tub, we've got some various things. I got here's some, what are these? I don't know, just like a tiny little bag of American US stamps. I can sort through that. And then we've got various sheets with different types of stamps on them here. All of these are the same way. Got full sheets of stamps. Those can sell well sometimes. And now that we're talking about it, folks, you should know that once a stamp is made, I mean, from the earliest stamp that's ever been made, it can still be used. It's still okay for postage. Now, these are Christmas seals. So some of these are not necessarily stamps. They go kind of in the same world. But we got whole blocks of stamps. These stamps right here, ones that say 1 cent or whatever these are can be used. I could still put these on a letter today if I want to. So if I have some that don't particularly have a ton of value, but are like 20-cent stamps or something, you just need 2.5 of those, and you can mail a letter. And so I guarantee you, people do this sometimes. They'll buy old stamps, and their intention is really just to use them. Here we got a bunch of old, again, these first day covers, stacks of multiples of the same kind. Here are some pre-printed postage on envelopes. I could use this envelope, folks, with that postage, and then I would just have to add whatever extra in stamps to that. And it just, it just goes on and on. There's just so much in here. Various types. I've not even begun to really look through that. I just put these in because I was like, okay, sheets in here, right? And then this is where it starts to get interesting. So this whole deal here is various stamps, but the person who collected these already did some work for me. They didn't know I would end up with their stamps, I'm sure. But what they have is stamps that are all from the United Nations. Here's all the ones for Bermuda. Here's all the ones for Finland. Here's German stamps. And so on. I mean, it just keeps going. Japanese, Bolivia, Jamaica. And you can see I have this gigantic stack, Pakistan, full of these. So what I'll do, it'll be easy when it comes time down the road to go through these. I'll pull out one of these. I'll dump all the stamps out. I'll arrange them, and I'll say I can do one lot. 175 stamps from the United Nations or whatever. 25 vintage Bermuda stamps, and people who are searching those buzzwords, Bermuda or Jamaica or Colombia, whatever, they might be interested in that. So it's fascinating. Also down here further, we got some other interesting types. Look at this. There were these stamp clubs back in the day, and maybe still exist, where you paid a membership, and then ever so often, they would send you a letter like this with a bunch of various stamps. Sometimes your world stamps, foreign stamps, sometimes U.S. stamps, but it was just for collecting. This is sealed. It's never even been opened. I have no idea what's in there. It might make sense. Somebody might want this as just a sealed thing that's never been opened, even without knowing what's in it. Other things in here I want to show you. There's some interesting down in here. Yeah, stamps that look, they're like made with gold foil. This is the Christmas 1995 Madonna and Child. It's got like gold foil on the stamp, and there's others. There's several others in here. Here's the U.S. Naval Academy. Here we got Tennessee Williams, American Playwright. So these are first issue stamps, but then they have this commemorative kind of like foil stamp. Youth Classics. This is from Peggy. Thanks, Peggy, for getting us this stamp. I don't even know, So, and there's others, folks. Several more down in here. So I got a lot of work to do, and I'm going to show you this last one. Yet again, a bunch of already sorted stuff, and this helps me so much I can't even begin to tell you how much this helps me. But I got some older ones kind of bagged up, a bunch more vintage U.S. stamps. But this is the deal. Look at all of these little things. Look at all of these. They say that the Scott number, that's the upper left, that's the number that helps you know which number of stamp it was. It says like a general title at the top, Eisenhower, okay, President Eisenhower. And this was made between 1969 and 1970. Here's 193.0, Ben Franklin, 1970, and so on. And it just goes and goes and goes. I have hundreds of these in here. Hundreds. Some of them have multiple stamps in them. Some of them have just one. But goodness, folks, imagine the amount of time and work that went into doing this. And I got some older ones. Down here in the bottom, some of them are also typed out. I got some older ones. There's some vintage US ones down in here. So let me move this stuff over a little bit and show you. Got some more here. Yeah, look at this. Got some, we got 1938. So I've even got stuff from the early 1900s down in here. Washington, 1930. Look at multiples. 37, 36, 32, 26, down to now 1922, 1925. We got 1920 stamps. And it gets older and older the further down you go. And I've not even begun, again, to really get into all these because it's just so much. It could get overwhelming if you weren't careful. But the other cool thing is there's some interesting stuff in here. Here's a stamp on like a receipt, like a fishing license, and some other cool stuff. Look at this. We got a Bank of Dade County where somebody wrote a check. And then look at this. This is not stamps, folks. This is money. This is some Japanese yen. A vintage bill, okay? And look at this. This is a genuine, Confederate $10 bill from the Confederate States of America, Richmond. Look at that. That's like a $30 or $40 note. That's maybe closer to 30 because the condition's not fantastic. But, oh my goodness, look at this. This little deal here where you can open it up and inside, stamps, revenue stamps, and they're hinged together. And in the original thing, that's awesome. And it just keeps going, folks. Other stuff. This is a Bermuda stamp. First day issue for Bermuda. That's interesting. And then look, I got some documents in here. What is this? It looks like a buyer's statement. Let me flip this puppy over. The buyer bought something. Oh, they bought a Rambler. Look at that. 1963 Rambler. They bought it brand new, and it cost them $3,008. They traded in a car for a $908 value, and this was in the state of Indiana. And so what we got here is these stamps right here, these proof of purchase. These are tax stamps showing that the payment had been, the tax has been paid. And these stamps have value as well as just the document by itself. And then what do we have here? Same deal, same part. Look at these, some more stamps, 50 cent, 25 cent, 5 cent. These documents, paper ephemera, it can sell by itself. And look at this, Dear Collector. So somebody had sent some little notes to a person. Five at $5 each, maybe. Value is $6, maybe. It's trying to say. These are stuck on here for somebody. It was like, hey, we're sharing stamps. Here's some others. 6 foreign stamps. Here's another one. Hey, dear collector, knowing that you're a keen stamp collector, we're sending you a selection on approval. I hope you'll find something inside to add to your collection. Well, that's so nice. This is from Avenue Stamps. And so you can see they've stuck some in here just for them to collect and look at what they might want. Look at this. How cool. Free gift. Look at these. Man, so many cool things, folks. It would take me a week or two just to probably go through and sell the stuff just in this one tub. Another week or two there, that's a month. Here's another probably couple of weeks. This tub by itself, I have no idea how long that would take me. I'll get these I got to sort. Those I could probably get up in a day because I can just take photos of each one and list them. This is going to be a couple of weeks here going through. Well, maybe I could do it in a week if that's all I did. But the point is, I got a lot to go through here, folks. I spent $100 and what was it, $175, $180, something like this for all of this. There's probably $1,000 or more in this, maybe more than that. It just depends, especially on some of these older ones and their value. You really never do know what you're going to find in some of these lots. I mean, this was a stamp lot, right? But as you saw, there was some antique bills, some notes, money, some documents, and then here's some other things I found that have value in themselves, even though they are not stamps. Some old stickers. Keep on biking. Here's an old U.S. stamp. You can see here. Display the flag proudly. This one I like this in Oklahoma. Everything's going okay. From Cherokee to Tulsa to Oklahoma City. Kiamichi Mountains. Will Rogers. And then here's some cool stuff. Some antique, or some vintage rather, Japanese bookmarks. Look at this. These are just scenes. Isn't that cool? I mean, somebody will want those. They're vintage. Some old postcards as well. Here's a picture postcard. The Hakone Hotel. Now, I don't know where that is, but I have to look it up and see. It doesn't say. Here's one, the Deer Herd at Nara Park. I don't know where Nara Park is. I'm going to look it up. Here's the Circular Motor Court Hotel, or motel rather. It's 5 miles southwest of Augusta, right off of Highway 78, in case you were wondering. Here's one as well. Tokyo Union Theological Seminary. So a seminary, a religious institution in Japan, which is interesting. And then look at this old one. I don't even know what it says, but it's got pre-posted postage there. And it's this really cool... almost like paper. It's pretty thin, but it's an old postcard. I have to look that up. But all those things have standalone value as well. Thank you, folks, so much for sticking around today. I hope this helped. If you've got some ideas that could help me with the stamps especially, I would appreciate it. I'm probably going to jump on to one of these Facebook groups and try to put some photos up and ask for some advice and kind of see where that goes. But anyhow, good luck out there. I hope you guys find some great treasures, and we will be back very soon. Let's go find some treasures. Rusty